Something else I want to talk about, specifically on that ride height situation, watching Melissa get in and out of a vehicle that's been raised 9 inches, and I don't tell her that I've done it, is that's a whole little comedy all its own. I paid for that one. Hey guys, welcome to the Full Octane Garage. As you have seen from the thumbnail, yes, we did buy a Hummer EV, one of the first ones in town, and we've had it about 4 months or so. And I want to talk about what I think is great about this vehicle, and then some of the issues that we have encountered with it, and why we are at the point where we're having to make a decision about whether we're going to proceed on with keeping it. So hang in there. I'll try to make it quick, but it's going to be some really good information. This isn't just our first Hummer EV or Hummer. This is our first electric vehicle whatsoever, and so we dive deep. Welcome to the Full Octane Garage. Let's get into it. All right. Hi, I'm James. Welcome to the Full Octane Garage. What I'm driving today is a 2024 Hummer EV. It is the 3X or X3, the larger motor version. It's the SUV. Just quick stats. You can get a lot of the other particulars from a lot of other videos. I'm here to tell you about my ownership and driving experience, having put almost 10,000 miles on this truck, and what I think about it and where we're going as we progress with this. It's about 850 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, weighs about 9,000 pounds, slightly over 9,000 pounds. I think the torque is over 1,000. And if you buy the pickup version of this, all those numbers are even more impressive. I think the 0 to 60 is around 3 seconds, and it's close to 1,000 horsepower. It is a outrageous vehicle in every standard. We have a lot of cars, obviously. We have a lot of high horsepower cars. They are all gasoline powered. When you pull into a parking lot in this, or pull into a gas station or a valet, be prepared to talk to everyone, because everyone wants to know about it. It gets much more attention than anything else that we've got in the garage, and that's fun. It's the whole thing is just so out there that it really is. If you want attention, this is the vehicle for you. It's the physical size of it. It's like driving a brick. I was actually thinking about my personalized tag being something of that nature. You can raise it up to 9 inches in height, which is nuts. It looks even more outrageous when you do that. It's got a radical rear wheel steer that gives you a turning radius in under 40 feet. So you can just basically turn it around almost in a 2-lane road. It's just staggering. The crab walk is another unusual feature that everybody talks about, but in reality, nobody uses it after they've done it once. Maybe if there's some more applications for it with off-road, but I haven't really seen it yet. The amount of space, the width from here to the passenger side, like when I'm sitting here with Melissa, there is so much room on the armrest. It's so nice. It's expansive here. It's expansive in the back seat. There's plenty of room for passengers back there. And then the back, if you put the back seats down, you have like 6.5 feet by 6 feet by the height of this truck of storage. Practical experiences, we use this to move my mom from Birmingham to the Nashville area, and it's unbelievable the amount of stuff that we put in it. Yes, it is electric. It has a 314 mile range. You can get an extended battery option when you build these things that will get you 384 miles I believe, which is phenomenal. It charges at about 14 or 15 miles per hour if you are using a 220 charger, which I put one on my house and I put one at my office, and so I just kind of bounce between it. So the range is actually really useful. Mileage anxiety in town is basically a non-issue. In an emergency, you can run by Electrify America or something like that and charge the whole thing up in 30 minutes or so. Really don't have to do that unless I go out of town. So that's all the great things. It's, again, I feel like I can go anywhere in this. You have a sense of invulnerability in it. You can roll over anything. You can pull into the smallest spots, although you might not be able to open your doors up when you're in it. It really makes you feel like you own the planet. And so in that perspective, it has been great. I want to say that my driving impression with this, which is basically a supercar that weighs over 9,000 pounds, is I love this truck. It's one of my favorite driving experiences. You completely forget it's an EV. It's so much fun. Your ability to overtake, it's super comfortable. Again, it just does everything right. The engineering that went into this vehicle has made it completely unique and has made it a joy to drive. Whether you just want to tool down a back road or you want to hammer down the interstate. My buddy brought a launch edition on a rally that we did that was full of R8s and McLarens and Ferraris, and he pretty much hung right in there. Kind of beat a C8 Corvette from a rolling start on strictly under controlled conditions, of course. All right, so that's everything I love about this car. I would highly recommend buying one, and based on the driving experience. But let me throw the caveats in there, and then you guys shoot holes in it in the comments or tell me what you think. This vehicle has a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, and anytime it has to go into the dealership, they're required to do updates on it. So if I go to the dealership twice in 1 week, they have to do updates, and the updates take 24 to 48 hours. So anytime it goes into the dealership, I'm out this vehicle for a day or two, which is, God, that's so tough, because it requires, there's the logistics of doing that. Instead of going in there and sitting in the awesome waiting room and drinking coffee and talking to other people about cars, you got to arrange for a loaner or a rental or something like that. And I own a construction company. I put stuff in this truck, and I have to drive off a paved road every once in a while. And when they give me a Polestar 2 as a replacement, great car, can't do anything I need to do in it that I can do with this vehicle. So that's the first thing. Reliability is what I want to talk about. That's the hate side of this. This has been into the shop 8 times, and I've owned it since March 15th. So March 15th to the 1st of August, which is the date of this video, it's 3.5 months. The service summary that I got said that this vehicle has been in the service center about 30 days of my 90-something days of ownership. And that's tough. I'll explain why I think that this is great for some vehicles and not great for others. I've really hammered on the good stuff, but I'm going to touch up on the issues that I've been having, and then we'll wrap it all up. So we got 5 more minutes, so hang in there. On the negative side, I've had issues like the charging door won't open, just like your gas door in your vehicle, but it won't open, and I have to push on it for 10 minutes at a time. Had 79 miles left in the vehicle. I'm sitting in a Buc-ee's parking lot, and I'm 200 miles away from home, and I can't get the charging door open. Real problem. A couple times I had an issue with the windows would drop when you're shutting the door, and they would pop up before the doors actually shut, and so they would slam into the freedom tops, and then you can't shut the doors. So it's like the driver's side, passenger and driver's side door, the front doors would not shut. I had to pop the freedom tops up, shut the doors, and put the freedom tops down over it. So then I'm stuck in the vehicle, so I had to drive it straight to the dealership. They had to keep it inside. That's another issue. The tops. look at them. I mean, it's super cool. It's so light in here. This is such a great panoramic type situation. They all come out individually. They fit in their individual bags, which all fit perfectly in the storage situation in the front of the vehicle. All super well thought out. It's enormously hot in here. These things, it's a 90-degree day, and I don't have the air on right now because I'm shooting this video, and I am like in a greenhouse. It is slowly cooking the top of my head. I have had these tinted and UV protected, and it's still just getting hotter in here. So the tops seem like a great idea, but they're kind of a pain in the ass. And I've only had them out a couple times. Now, I will say they come out really quick. I could take them all out and have them stored in about 7 or 8 minutes. So that's pretty cool. But on hot days, if you're driving it around, this is a tough place to be. The rear door, I've had issues with it not opening at times. And initially when I bought it, the latch needed adjustment. The rear door wouldn't shut. That created a situation on the first day of ownership. But the dealer took care of that, and that was all ironed out. But something you have to think about is the rear door is like 5 feet wide, and it opens hinges from one side. And so when it opens up, like if you pull into a parking spot and you open that rear door, you have to pull in front first so you have a space for the door to open up, and it opens up into the lane of traffic if you're in a parking lot or something like that, which basically stops traffic until you load all your crap in it. If you back it in somewhere, you can't open it at all because it's going to run into whatever happens to be behind you. So that's kind of crazy, but the amount of storage back there again is nuts. Tons of room back there. A couple other nuancy issues that haven't been resolved. There is air noise. See, I have the air off, and you can hear air and a little bit of rattling. That's from these tops. It's an off-road vehicle, and I generally forget about it after a while, but it is constantly there, and you're probably hearing it in this audio. The other issue that hadn't been resolved is it's got this crazy flat windshield, which it's cool. Kind of reminds me of the old Humvees that I had in the Army. I was in the Army for 21 years, and I drove the H1s. But it's got 3 windshield wipers, and the far left windshield wiper only hits half of its portion of the windshield that it's supposed to wipe, because the windshield has a slight concave surface, and the windshield wiper doesn't bend that way. So that is a known issue with this vehicle, is the windshield wiper doesn't hit about 1/6 of the windshield, which happens to be kind of in the driver view. So that's a little weird. And then there's just been nuancy stuff that we won't get into. I don't want to beat this to death. I came into this vehicle knowing that it was a new production vehicle and there would be some kinks to work out, and I was perfectly willing to kind of go through that process with them, and they have one of the first ones, and I just love this truck. But where I am with it, and I'll tell you the core of the problem, and don't get me wrong, I love the dealership that we have here in Nashville, Tennessee. I bought over $1 million worth of vehicles from them for the companies that we own, and they have been super. Love everybody in the sales side and the service side, but there is definitely a hole on these Hummer EVs, in that there's only 1 or 2 techs that are qualified to work on them, and they're so tied to whatever protocol they have to work on them, and they're so new that I just don't think they're familiar with some of the issues that I'm running into, and they don't know how to fix them. So I dropped the vehicle off. It's doing the problem, like the doors or the little door for the charge it, and they see it happening, but by the time the tech gets a chance to work on it, because he's usually a couple Hummer EVs down at the dealership, it has fixed itself or it doesn't repeat the problem. Well, that's a real problem for me when some of these actually keep me from driving the truck and can actually leave me stranded. So that has been the core of my problem. And let me tell you, so when wrapping this up, I think right now that this is it's a fun truck if it's going to be your third vehicle and it's not your primary source of transportation. I use this for my construction company. I drive about 100, 150, 200 miles a day. And so I have stacked up in 3 months, but only driving it for 2 of those months, I have stacked up almost 10,000 miles. All of the rest of the vehicles in town probably don't have the amount of miles that I have on my truck combined. When I talk to my friends, they've experienced some nuancy issues, but they've only driven it 1,000 miles. And it's kind of like their Corvette or their sports car or something like that. They clean it up and they drive it to the car shows or whatnot. But I literally drive this all the time, and I just don't think it's ready. So where am I? I don't know. It's kind of up to my dealership right now. I've taken these issues to them. They're aware of them. They've been very understanding, but I haven't really gotten a feel good from GMC corporate when I talk to them, and I haven't had a resolution with this one. But every day I wonder if I'm going to get where I'm supposed to go. Melissa, driving with Melissa, won't even drive it at this point because she doesn't want to get stranded. Besides the fact that it's a giant truck and it kind of freaks her out. I think she'd eventually get used to it. But she's just concerned that she's going to end up with running out of charge or having the door issue or something like that and being stuck. And I don't want her to get stuck either. So that's a real problem. And so we're at the point now where we're kind of waiting on them to let us know what they're going to do. If they could extend the warranty, that would be a big thing. Because a 36,000 mile warranty on a vehicle that's been in the shop twice a week or once a week for the last however many 3 months that I've had it, what happens when it runs out of warranty? If it takes 2 days to do the updates on it, what is that going to cost me every time it goes in? And then what's it going to cost for all these issues that I've been having that they've had no resolution for? So I'm looking, my big ask for them is I need an extended warranty on this in order to make me feel good enough to hang on to it and kind of work through this problem. And then the other thing is I need them to actually find, identify, believe me when I tell them they have a problem, identify what it is and come up with a fix and then fix it permanently. Don't tell me they couldn't reproduce it or that they just don't know or it fixed itself. Waiting till the next time I can't have the doors where the doors won't shut is not acceptable. So that's where we are with the Hummer EV at this point in time. I'm actually on my way to investigate some alternatives just to see if that's something we could do. The vehicle in this price range, which this was a $110,000 truck. I think you probably get this same truck for maybe 104, 105 now. But that puts it dead in the range for the Ford Bronco Raptor, which I think is pretty cool. Not as cool as this, but I think it's pretty cool. And also even a Range Rover Sport. So we're going to explore some other options and see where we're at. And I guess in the next week or so, we'll find out how it all falls out. And then hopefully we'll get another video together and let you know where we're at. But please leave your comments down below. Would you buy one of these Hummer EVs? Again, it is a supercar, all-wheel drive beast that will hold a bunch of stuff. It's got crazy lights. All the tops come off. I mean, this literally is one of the funnest vehicles on the planet. But what would you do if you were struggling a little bit with those service issues and you really couldn't quite trust it? Leave your comments down below. And then, so I'm looking at the Ford Bronco Raptor and the Range Rover Super Sport, the Range Rover Sport. Any other item, any other vehicle in that range that you would recommend, leave that comment down below. I have not given up on electric vehicles. I may give up on this electric vehicle, but I've been very happy with my EV experience so far, and I was kind of experimenting with this with my commercial fleet because I'm looking at doing some electric vehicle stuff moving forward with my company. So yeah, leave those comments too. Even a hybrid, I would certainly consider hybrids. Don't throw the F-Pace SVR in there because we already have one of those, and I would probably buy another one. I like that truck, so much fun. That truck is so hilarious. I would probably get two, actually. But again, I know I rambled a little bit, but let me know what you think, and we'll see you soon at the Full Octane Garage. We'll see what I'm sitting in when I'm talking. Have a good one.